Hello everybody, my name is Noah, and today we're going to be talking about great ways to store your Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. Now, before obviously the pandemic and everything, I think it was about 4 months ago, I love yard sales and thrift shops and flea markets. I go to them a lot, and I found this box of 4 solid wood domino racks, and I saw a YouTuber talk about great ways to store your Game Boys. Now, I'm not trying to copy him, but he talked about many ways you can do it, and he said domino racks were really good, and I didn't know. These were I think I paid like 50 cents to $1 at a yard sale for them, and they didn't think much of it. Like they go for around online, they go for around 10 to 15 at most, but you can find them like on secondhand stores, thrift stores, Ohio Thrift, wherever you are, thrift stores. They have them pretty cheap because they're just domino racks. But as you can see, they're great for holding your Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. Now I have them in front of my Wii U collection right now. This whole shelf's filled with Wii U games. I'm really trying to go for a full set. I'll talk about that in another video, but the amazing thing about these is if you pull them forward, they don't fall forward at all, and you can like file through the games. Sorry, it's kind of hard to record. You can file through them and then push them all back, and they don't fall over. Same thing with the Game Boy Advance. When you push them forward and then push them back, they all fall back, and then they never go anywhere. Now I really do enjoy the Game & Watch gallery games on Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color. Now I'm trying to get them here. Now I have them right here. I got the first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. I really do enjoy those games, and I kind of like displaying them for people to see and not just having them in a box. Because at first, I had my Game Boy games in a little box, and it was hard to get through a game. You'd have to dig through the box, and it wasn't fun. And I think that way of doing it with this kind of cheap and inexpensive way, if you have the space and you really do like Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, or Game Boy Color, it's a great way to display your games. Now, another thing you could do is use DS cases. Now, this is a little more expensive, and I tried this out at first, but I honestly really don't like it that much. But it is a good option for another option of storing your Game Boy games. Now, this only is going to work for Game Boy Advance cartridges. It's not going to work for Game Boy and Game Boy Color, because in some DS cases, they have this slot up here that can put in, if you just click it in, it can hold Game Boy Advance games. Now, as you can see, this whole thing right here is just for one Game Boy Advance game, and the cases are pretty small, like compared to a normal DVD case. It's about, I would say, a little over half. It's a good way of storing it, and you could print out your custom labels for your games and put it out here and just and slide them in. Now, that's actually a really cool idea, and I was going to do that, but that's a lot of just you have this, you have to pull it off the shelf, open it up, get it out, which is with any disc game as well. I'm not complaining about that much, but I'd rather have them, as you don't see, just a little in shelf. I would rather see if there's a way to display the disc or something, or display the cartridges without having them on a shelf, just all lined up like that. They do look nice like that, but I'd rather have them on the domino racks because they're displayed easier, can get to easier, and they're just, overall, I think it's really good. Now, this does protect the game really well, because these cartridges, not the cartridges, excuse me, these cases are really tough, and it's a great way. But on the go, you're not going to carry around this. You're going to pop this thing out, and on the go with that, you don't carry around the rack either. But the bottom of the cartridges on the racks do not get exposed, so you don't have to worry about dust getting on in the cartridge, so it damages it. And same thing with this. I think both of them are really fun options. Now, when I started out, I said I kept them in boxes, but then getting the domino racks and trying this out, I had tried this out at first. Now, these DS cases, not every DS case has this slot on the top. So you're going to run into that if you go over this way. And they would just have, it would just be blank plastic and just have the DS slot right here. And these cases online, if you just want just a loose case and that's it, they can go like expensive, like over $1. Like I think around like if you look and hunt for a cheap one, I think you're going to be spending about $2 a case. Which honestly, I mean, if you really do like this method, it's not that bad. But I found a big stack of them at my one favorite game store, and they sold me to them like, I think like $4 for like 20 of them, which is a really, really good deal because they all had that slot, and I was going to do that way. But then I put them on the Domino Racks. It does save space because they don't, like, that's just taking up the front of one of my shelves. And if I want a Wii U game, I would just go behind it and lift up the game and then just move it. It doesn't really get in the way at all. And having I have a lot of games, as you can tell, and having a bunch of these cases in a stack, all like that, I just really don't personally would like it that much. But it's definitely an option, and I find with storing like my cartridges and stuff, I stack them up, and they aren't that bad. Like stacking them up like this, I do enjoy having my cartridges and DS cases, as you can see back there, all stacked up. It's a nice way to store them, but the Game Boy Advance games do not stack evenly because they have a little lip you can grab onto. And Game Boy games do stack evenly, but it's not that really. You can't see what game it is if you have a stack of them like that. So I would recommend getting a Domino rack, but if you want to go the DS route, case route, you can definitely do that. So that's a quick little video about how I think a great way to store your Game Boy games are. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember, have an amazing day, and smile always. Bye.